Title: The Unsolved Case of Karen Swift, the mystery that still haunts Tennessee, the night of the Catwoman. Hit subscribe if you think the truth always claws its way out. Like, comment if you believe the living can speak for the dead. They say some people don't just run in life, they run from something. But Karen Johnson Swift wasn't running away. For most of her life she ran toward something better. A life of purpose, of movement, of warmth. Born in Illinois, adopted into a bustling home, she was that kid who always found her footing, literally, sprinting across tracks and finishing lines, making everyone else look flat-footed. People described her energy like light through glass, focused, strong, impossible to ignore. When she ran marathons, she ran to win. When she coached others at the YMCA, she made them believe they could win too. She was the mom who packed lunches, the friend who helped you move, the neighbor who remembered your birthday. Everyone agreed she was good. That simple, heavy word. But goodness has a way of attracting its opposite. Karen married young David Swift, and together they built a picture that looked perfect. For kids, a home, a routine. But perfect is the most fragile shape in the human world. One wrong touch, and it shatters. Their marriage cracked the way most do, slowly then all at once. An affair. A child outside the marriage. A divorce. Then, against all reason, a remarriage. The kind of thing only happens when love is tangled up in need. Karen tried to make it work. She worked for everyone. She worked for her kids. For her home. For the YMCA. For neighbors. To supplement income, she cleaned houses, taught aerobics, even sold makeup and Tupperware door to door, the kind of humble hustles that said everything about who she was. She helped people change their lives while never complaining about the weight she carried. Meanwhile, David had a different kind of energy. So, watchful, cold. Friends described him as a man who hovered. He didn't yell, not usually. He observed. He commented. He belittled. He didn't need to be in the room to be there. Karen's phone could ring 20 times in half an hour, and she knew exactly who it was. In the years leading to October 2011, something shifted. Karen began reclaiming her life the way someone slowly opens the blinds after years in the dark. New friends, new confidence, more laughter, more outings. People noticed she was becoming herself again. David noticed too. He told people she was going wild, being corrupted, changing. But really? She was just beginning to breathe. On October 10, 2011, 20 days before the night that would define her forever, Karen filed for divorce again. But this time she meant it. She wanted custody, financial support, a future. She wanted her life back. She also wanted privacy. She learned that David monitored her messages, so she got a second phone, one only her attorney and trusted friends knew about. And when David asked her the day before Halloween to skip a party and have dinner with him, her answer was simple and final. No, David. It's over. That night, October 29th, the Halloween party at the Farms Golf Club was supposed to be fun, a release. Karen showed up dressed as Catwoman, black, sleek, strong. But something was off. Witnesses say she seemed tense, uneasy. She had arguments, whispers, eyes following her. Nothing about the night felt right. Close to midnight, she left with her friends Bill and Kathy Boner and planned to stay with them. But then, her 9-year-old daughter called from a sleepover, sick, asking to come home. So Karen went. Of course she did. Mother first. Always. She arrived home sometime around 1:30 to 2 a.m. David claimed he was awake, waiting. He said they spoke briefly. Karen and her daughter went to bed. At 2:08 a.m., her phone connected to the home Wi-Fi. At 4:38 a.m., the phone disconnected for the last time. At 5:04 a.m., it left the house. 5 minutes later, silence. The phone never transmitted again. By morning, her daughter woke up alone. Her mother gone. No note. No trail. Just absence, heavy and echoing. Hours later, Karen's car was found on a quiet road. Tire sabotaged, costume inside, purse missing. Both of her phones, smashed, discarded near the home. The search began. But the truth? The truth had already started hiding. The husband who waited. When investigators asked David Swift what happened that night, his answers were calm. Too calm. Not panicked. Not grieving. More like a man narrating a movie he'd already seen. He said Karen came home around 1:30 a.m. They talked briefly. No argument. No raised voices. Nothing unusual. According to him, she simply went to bed with their daughter. And sometime before dawn, she left again, alone, without her purse, without her makeup bag, without her phones, without waking anyone. He didn't ask where she was going. He didn't call to check. He didn't text. His explanation? She does that sometimes. But every person who actually knew Karen said the same thing. Karen didn't do that. Ever. She didn't leave sleeping children to wander roads before sunrise. She didn't abandon her responsibilities. And she didn't leave without makeup, purse, or phone, not even to go to the mailbox. So why did David think this explanation would work? Because someone who controls you long enough starts believing they define your reality, and that everyone else will believe their version too. The car. Karen's SUV was found just a few miles from the family home, on a rural road that didn't lead anywhere she needed to be. One tire wasn't just flat, it had been intentionally slashed. Not blown. Not torn. Cut. And inside the car were pieces of her Halloween costume. Not neatly placed. Not folded. Torn. Stuffed. As if removed in a hurry. Her purse? Gone. Her makeup bag? Gone. Both cell phones? Not in the vehicle. It would take search teams days to find those. And when they did, both were broken, crushed as if stomped by a boot. Not dropped. Not damaged by accident. Destroyed. Someone didn't want records. Someone didn't want messages. Someone wanted silence. The husband's early moves. Less than 24 hours after Karen vanished, David hired a divorce lawyer. Not a missing persons advocate. Not a crisis counselor. Not even a search team. A divorce lawyer. He also refused to let police search the home. Repeatedly. Then he locked all 4 children out of the residence completely, including the one crying for her mother. He changed the locks. Shut the doors. Shut everyone out. Inside that house was the last place Karen was known to be alive. And he made sure no one stepped inside. The search. Community members searched fields, woods, ditches, riverbanks. They walked for miles. They prayed. They cried. They waited for David to show up and help. He didn't. He was busy. Busy power washing his driveway. 2 days after she vanished. Not calling her. Not posting flyers. Not organizing search groups. Cleaning. Scrubbing. Rinsing. Like someone tidying up after something. Neighbors remembered that sound. The blast of the pressure washer. Steady. Cold. Methodical. The sheriff's statement. Within a week, the sheriff stood at a microphone and told the public, "We believe this is a homicide. We believe we know who did it." But they didn't make an arrest. Because belief is not proof. Not in the eyes of the law. And the kind of proof they needed was still lying somewhere out there waiting to be found. Waiting for someone to stop cleaning up. Waiting for winter to pass. Waiting for spring to thaw. Waiting for the ground to expose what had been buried. When you're ready. Where the river sleeps. If you're still here, you already know. Some stories don't end in the dark. They end when the earth gives something back. Winter came early that year. The wind rolled over rural Tennessee like a warning. The fields went still. The roads stayed empty. And the river, the Hatchie, moved slow and silent. Karen had been missing for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of flyers, prayer circles, news reports, and whispers in grocery store aisles. People were afraid to say what they were really thinking, but they were thinking it anyway. She didn't walk away. Someone took her. But without a body, everything was speculation. Suspicion. Shadows. And shadows can't be put on trial. December 10th, 2011. 2 hunters were out early, moving along a remote, overgrown area near Berrytown Road. It wasn't a path for hikers. It wasn't a place you'd stumble into by accident. You had to know the terrain. As they walked, one of them noticed something pale among the winter brush. At first glance, maybe driftwood. Maybe trash. Something shaped wrong for the surroundings. They stepped closer. And the world, for them, changed. Karen's body lay hidden near the bank. Not buried. Not carefully concealed. Just placed. As if someone thought nature would finish the work. But winter preserves what summer would erase. The cold had protected her. The condition of her body. No one wanted to speak it publicly, but the truth spread anyway. Karen's head and neck showed signs of blunt force trauma. She didn't drown. She didn't freeze. She didn't wander off and collapse. She was killed. With force. With intent. With anger. And the medical examiner confirmed something else. She had not been dead the night she disappeared. She had been kept somewhere before being moved. Which means she spent her last hours with someone. Someone who knew her. Someone who had access. Someone who could delay the search. Someone who could clean. Someone who believed the earth would hide their crime. Someone who didn't fear being seen. The phones, remember? Both of Karen's phones were found discarded on the property of a church. A church that sat right by the Swift home. Not hidden miles away. Not thrown off a highway. Just dropped. As if in haste. Or panic. Both devices were intentionally smashed. Screens shattered, SIMs damaged, memory ruined. Why smash phones? Because phones remember things. Calls. Messages. Locations. Searches. Secrets. And Karen had secrets too. Not the dirty kind, the protective kind. Remember the second phone? The one David didn't know about at first? She used it to talk to her divorce attorney, her close friends, her pastor, and someone else. Someone David had recently learned about. A man she'd been confiding in. Someone she trusted. And when Karen tried to leave for good, David learned about him. So now there was a motive. Control slipping. Marriage ending. Finances threatened. Karen becoming someone he didn't own anymore. And the courts? They were about to decide custody. David was about to lose. The house. The marriage. The image. And the control. And some men would rather destroy something than watch it walk away alive. Karen Swift had been found. But justice? Justice was still missing. When you're ready for what comes next. The interviews, the lies, the other woman, the DNA, the one thing police say they're still waiting on.